The Ghana Health Service on Wednesday started an emergency vaccination of children below 5 years against the crippling and potentially deadly polio disease. The vaccination has become necessary after the country recorded 3 new cases of the paralysis-causing disease in the northern and Greater Accra regions. Ghana, until these recent cases, had been polio-free for 10 years. Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Anthony Nsiah-Sarrey, vaccinated the first child to commence the nationwide vaccination exercise. And Odame has more in this report.
One of the 3 cases identified is a little girl in the Triponi district in the northern region, and the 2 others were found in the northern region and Agbeglushi in the Greater Accra region. The Ghana Health Service says their surveillance helped in detecting the cases, but then what actually caused the recurrence?
When we reach a point where we have not had the virus, we start to then what we call environmental surveillance, where we mounted sites in the regions, once here Agbeglushi site, where we pay environmental sewage and then go to the laboratory and whether we can find the virus there. We want to make sure the virus is nowhere. But you find the virus in the environmental site, also pay one tamale. And that's why when we had also, that child in Triponi, the same strain of virus you find the environmental, the sample in Agbeglushi, which as we felt that no, something happened wrong. We need to actually give our children extra boosters to make sure that in case the virus is around everywhere, we can vaccinate them.
The Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Anthony Nsiah-Sarrey, who started the vaccination exercise for all children below the age of 5 across the country, noted that every child who's already been vaccinated should be given a second dose.
All children under the age of 5 are eligible. I wish to indicate that the vaccination is free of charge. So if you want your child not to be disabled, and if you don't want your child to die from poliomyelitis, you have to encourage anybody who is staying in your house with a child below the age of 5 years and all caregivers to send their children for vaccination.
Joy News spoke to some mothers whose children were vaccinated at the event.
And this is my third born. Anytime they do it, I go in for it for them. So they are okay. If you see the kids, they are all well, good, fine. And I think it's good for us.
This is a very good exercise. I encourage all parents and guardians to ensure their children are vaccinated. They should know that the health officials will not deliberately give our children wrong or bad vaccines, so no one should be afraid.
Before the end of September, health officials will be in schools, worship places, markets, bus terminals in all districts in the country to vaccinate every child below the age of 5 in a bid to eradicate polio in Ghana. Hannah Odame for Joy News.
Day 2 of the Joy Clean Ghana campaign came to an abrupt end on Wednesday after the assemblyman for Jamestown unleashed his wrath on the team of sanitation inspectors and the Joy News crew covering the exercise. Not even the police officers who were providing security were spared. The assemblyman, Joseph Addo, popularly known as Zola, slapped Joy News photojournalist David Ando and smashed his camera in the process. Despite the Accra Mayor's intervention with reinforcement from the police, the exercise could not continue as Assemblyman caught up with the team in another section of the community to drive the officials out. He argued the timing of the exercise to encourage cleanliness is not appropriate considering the district-level elections is just around the corner. Nancy Mfajradozi witnessed everything and put together this report.
The team visited food vendors who were selling under unhygienic conditions.
Yes, the first thing
in another home, there was only one toilet serving over 25 residents.
Na sisi ya short toilet na ewo ho no toilet no kra ho space ni ma eswa kitua na mu ye nipa boye 20 something na osi mu use toilet e kire se ebia mu ko toilet ni wo bathroom na mu chichirikire to baby meboa eba esa
Mbese mi ko toilet mbe ko outside ho say toilet wo but me chichi toilet wo fi
bathroom mu ye chema pot na ewo ho no nyina no den na mu de ye
the Omu oh, so 19 Omu Jones.
Serve them the letter.
I'll give it to Evira.
In the same house, the first floor of the story building was hanging loosely on the verge of collapse.
The room I'm living, the people here, they say it's a family house. So we pay.
You pay rent?
I pay rent.
So you are a tenant?
Yes.
You can cave in. Whoever is
anytime,
here can cave in, and a disaster, a pending disaster here. Somebody lives here. All this is a corridor to people's room. So when we serve them the notice, we'll follow up to sit with them to find out what time is feasible for them to do what we want them to do. Because if we say immediate, maybe they will not be able to raise the money to do what we want them to do. So we'll follow up upon serving the notice to see how best they can put efforts together to reconstruct. But we'll make the first attempt to make sure that nobody lives here anymore, because we'll serve them notice to get the people living here out.
The inspectors, on seeing the gutter around the house choked with refuse, instructed the residents to clean up. Other residents in the neighborhood also took a cue and voluntarily began cleaning. In another house, where beans and fried plantain was being sold in front of a bathroom, the team found out the vendor certificate had expired. Several bunches of unripe plantain was also being stored near the toilet. The inspectors would not budge despite her plea and demanded that the unripe plantain be taken away as they were unsafe for consumption.
Please collect all these things and go and put it in your car. Yes, collect everything and go and put it in your car.
Shortly after that, though, the assemblyman stormed the house with some aides to stop those cutting away the plantain.
Please, they are obstructing them to collect the things, so we need your assistance.
The rest of the team rushed to the aid of the others who were being ruffled by the assemblyman and his men, only to hear that the Joy News photojournalist had been slapped. Joseph Ado then ordered the team to leave the area. The director of public health at the point announced that the exercise had been called off.
The whole process has come to an end because we have been distracted, and we thought the assembly member in the area could have even given us his support. But he came to support his people, telling us that it's election time and very soon they'll be doing elections, so we do not have the right to come to tell people to clean their environment. This is where politics have taken us to. Does it mean that if they are going to have elections, you shouldn't clean your environment? If somebody doesn't clean the environment, the person falls sick and die. Would a dead person come and vote for you?
Police reinforcement called in by the Accra mayor eventually arrived. They accompanied the team back to the scene where the scuffle broke. But the assemblyman also returned to the scene and insisted that every member of the team should leave the community. The police, completely helpless at that point, obliged. The Accra mayor showed up later and promised to ensure that the assailant is made to face the full rigors of the law.
Informed that the assemblyman for the area decided to assault your crew. I've come to report the matter personally also to the police, and I've tasked the police that I'll keep an eager eye on the matter, and I want prosecution to take its course. From multimedia, you also have to do your best. But I'm a public officer, and I think that even if you decide not to follow the matter, I will do so in the interest of the president call to make Accra clean. We can't tolerate indiscipline. We can't tolerate lawlessness in our society. And I'm going to take this matter very serious.
The photojournalist who was assaulted has filed an official complaint at the Jamestown police station and has visited the hospital for treatment.
Sanitation and Water Resources Minister Cecilia Dapaah has meanwhile advised the public not to wait for monthly cleanup exercises before they clean their surroundings. She says people must be consistent and make cleaning an everyday habit. Madam Dapaah made the remarks after inspecting water, sanitation and water conditions in the Ayawaso North Municipality of the Greater Accra region. Maxwell Agbagba has more.
It is possible and we can do it. I believe if we are consistent, like I said, this once a month cleaning, for some people, fine. But I don't think we should wait for a month. The cleaning should be every day. When you see dirt, make sure you clean it. When you churn out garbage, make sure you dispose of it effectively. And what is the first step? You get a bin.
In some homes where drainage systems had been covered with planks, they were removed and the drains inspected. The Sanitation and Water Resources Minister went through the alleyways of Mamobi, visiting homes and inspecting sanitary conditions there. She also visited the Ayawaso Council of Zongo Chiefs. She appealed to the chiefs and other opinion leaders to support government's agenda of making Ghana clean.
I've had reports. People don't pay for water. People pipe their sewage into drains. We want them to stop. And we need leaders like you, forward-looking leaders like you, who live by example, to at least help us talk to the community, help us control and then eradicate all these problems that do not help with our health in the society.
The minister rebuked some residents of Mamobi for not keeping the environment clean.
You know, Joy is doing an exercise they need to be commended. They are doing on the spot. So when they catch you, you'll be embarrassed. You should encourage the households to be cleaning. We have written to you that you have the strength from the ministry that every household should be in charge of the land around the household, in front of the household, and each home should get a bin. Zoom Lion is championing this one house, one bin, and we support it. Yes. The MCs support what? One bin, one house, or one house, one bin means. And one business, one bin.
Chairman of the Ayawaso Council of Zongo Chiefs, Moro Isa, wants the minister's support to desilt the main Nima drain. He says the drainage system is too big and beyond the management of the Ayawaso North Municipal Assembly.
The challenge that we have, madam, maybe you start from the drain, but it seems as if whatever we do, the good thing that we do, because of the posture of the drain, you see, we are not recognized, because everybody that says in the press, everything there, you go, they captured it and they say a lot of things, because the drain is so big also. The management of it is not a small thing. So, madam, I would like to appeal to you, whatever help you can give, at least to be able to manage sanitation-wise, be able to manage that drain is very important. It's something I see is beyond the municipal assembly.
The Sanitation and Water Resources Minister Cecilia Dapaah promised that her ministry will continue to do more to ensure a clean Ghana.
One house, one bin is being promoted by the service providers led by Zoom Lion, and the ministry supports it 200%. I have added one business, one bin, because people spend at times they go to their businesses at 6.
The governing New Patriotic Party during its 2016 election campaign promised to provide $1 million to each of Ghana's 275 constituencies to help speed up their development. In the Ododo constituency, however, residents say that money has taken too long to reach them, especially when it is desperately needed to fix dilapidated school structures there. Jojo Cobnam has details in this week's edition of our citizen-driven series, Dear Nanado.
Ona ke beginning ke wo ba wo fo ona ke jo efijian mi onushin no ke moko ba bo modin e beginning foundation fio ni mini obana ke ba nya tuni sije ni o wa dum platform mi ma fe ne ke ni anako aka gba one foundation po.
Jamestown, the Ododo-Diodio constituency in Accra. The tide here rises just like the expectations of the people. On the minds of the people is this promise from the president.
Every constituency from next year onwards is going to get the equivalent of $1 million for the first
no lakamuna me lakawo aman wona lakamuna me lakawo ya ne ake one consequence $1 million no $1 million engo.
Through the Coastal Development Authority, the constituency is supposed to benefit from developmental projects worth $1 million yearly. This is the third year since the NPP came to power, and residents are yearning for $1 million one constituency project.
One constituency, $1 million. One ako kadiko. Ne wo bien no do ne. No komeni yo mi tede jake. Keji oba. Do ke no ba fe no fe. Anya ni mini. Amale yo se. Alo anya ke noko ni sa yo se. Shikoko ba fe no ba fe. Ali akeu obo ba fi o keji awie abana loko papa ni mini awie yoyi ba wie neke ni amefe because loko tumo alaka ska eyeye shi innako nono ba na do pa yorasi innako agashi lele akebalo akebaku o ba nyo kema agashi o ima ene to ma school tu abake o ama school tu 200 she chebele share 200 fibona bon mane ene ending zero mo fe amon baba e ba ke wa ke show e ba fe ne ke ending zero e ba fe ne ending zero e ba fe ne ending zero koklo she ba ye 4 years e kan leke bi ame benefit ame nase she mi money vote nase aba se ko baba le sian ke ba tenopole che avant les chiens avant les ne alegbe mi money vote one day ataje me elegbe mi no ko poni kelegbe.
Nyaku Mashal did school for fishing during his childhood. He said if he could go back into time, he would rather choose school. Observing children fishing and shunning school saddens him. Mashal identifies education as the biggest priority for his constituency. He wants government to fix poor school infrastructure. Many public schools in the constituency are not in good shape. A typical example is the Ayalolo cluster of schools. Accra Sempe School was established in 1826, one of 4 schools built by the colonial British government. Over the years, the school has not received a befitting infrastructure, but in 2015, construction of a new school complex started but stalled in January 2017. The School Management Committee Chairman, George Ayi, is worried about the stalling of the project and wants government to invest part of the $1 million to finish the school.
And we are grappling with basic. We are grappling with it. I mean, what do you expect of people of this community? And we were the leaders. At independence, we were the leaders. Is it deliberate or accidental? Well, as far as I'm concerned, development of human capital is key. We can't talk about development without looking at the human beings. And so we can start off by looking at the human capital development, and that is education.
Children are also unhappy and want government to intervene.
Nana, come please, we need your help. We are suffering in this school. Like the way learning is not comfortable, so please, we need your help. Yeah, we are suffering in this school. Sometimes learning is not comfortable because the way the rains fall and it leaks into our classroom, and when the wind blows too, it enters into our classroom, and when the sun also shines, it makes us feel, so sometimes we have to stand up from where we are sitting and come to another place to sit there.
Residents of Odorodiodio want government to engage them on how the Coastal Development Authority plans to use the $1 million.
They have what we are, especially school, they have what we are.
Well, yellow, Nanado, me qualify, ye nyungo bami, ye just bami. I can bomb more than I can only you, nyungo all any legion, ne fee, now. Report out.
Our checks show that government has started 2 borehole facilities in Odorodiodio under the 1 million one constituency project. One at the Bukom Park and the other at the Jamestown Abattoir. Residents of Bukom say 5 months after the drilling of the hole, the project was abandoned, and so sand filled up the hole.
Na saba neni chaniba ke ni na bacha pe kwa shaka ameba yenu keba kona kwa ke amechunu chumulo na ba pe odade na meba amenyeto na meke kpa fito na meke wonim not know yeni na fie e na abu ameshika mashi lole ko ba chono na abu efite sha me force na me na ke to obulem na ye nu e ba to ka be nu chumo ameba chu after then na me ba don ni e bia na efite e na abu ana.
The Jamestown Abattoir borehole has not been completed. The only sign of work is a PVC pipe sticking out from the belly of the earth and surrounded by vehicle tires. A toilet facility at the Ayalolo cluster of schools has also started and currently at the lintel level. Authorities say they have challenges acquiring land to implement projects.
About 2017. 2018, 2019, we were butili.
We're taking a break, but up ahead in business, First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo urges women entrepreneurs to strive to excel in their roles in the boardroom as she launches AGI Women in Business Initiative.
Businesses who have women in leadership positions increase profitability and promote an environment that is both creative and innovative.
Stay tuned in, we'll be back in a bit. Now, local government minister Haji Halima Mahama has hinted administrative procedures are underway to sanction district assemblies cited in the 2018 Auditor General's report for financial irregularities. The report found 120 million cedis was misappropriated by the district assemblies. The minister says she will crack the whip to sanitize the system.
Given them 30th September, I've written to them. They should follow up the recommendation, all the irregularities and the directions that they've given for them to handle this irregularities. They should comply by 30th September and report to me. And I've also asked the head of the Office of the Local Government Service, administratively, to also look at the administrative procedures and apply sanctions accordingly. Follow up and also apply sanctions.
What sanctions are allowed under the rules?
For example, if you have to pay something that you are not paying, you have salary part of I mean, some deduction, they can work a scheme out for your salary to be taken out. If you are to be suspended on some matters, you'll be suspended or interdicted. There are two different things. Interdiction, you will still be on part salary, maybe half salary. Suspension, you will not be on salary. There are various administrative procedures that they should follow. So they should look at the Auditor's General report and then apply the administrative sanctions.
So you're willing to crack the whip on
Of course.
Why do you think this happens, though? I mean, you've been in the local government system for a long time. Why do you think this continues happening?
I think the technical, sometimes we blame the politicians a lot, but it's not just the politicians. The technical people too should be able to support the politicians, because that's why you are there. You have a coordinating director, you have a finance officer, you have an internal auditor, and you have the works engineer and all, procurement officers. We have all that. They should be able to support the district chief executives in the procurement process. If a DC is telling you, if we start cracking the whip also on the technical staff, the next time a DC, assuming a DC tells them to bypass certain rule, they'll have to tell the DC that no, this is illegal, and I cannot be committing an illegality. But they shouldn't just sometimes they may even do things that the DC too is not aware. So I'm not just holding only the MMDCs responsible. I'm also holding the technical staff responsible, and that's why I'm directing the head of the Office of Local Government Service to also look at the technical staff, the administrative staff, wherein they went wrong, and apply the whip.
The entire interview will be aired at 9 p.m. That's after this bulletin. Now, the governing New Patriotic Party has rubbished claims by the opposition NDC, President Akufo-Addo and his government are supervising corruption at all levels. According to the party, government's fight against corruption is unrivaled since independence, contrary to claims by the opposition. Komladom was at a news conference held by the party on Wednesday and filed the following report.
The NDC at a news conference Tuesday outlined corruption cases they say have plagued the government, and they claimed commitment to deal with them has been absent.
From the extraordinary corrupt Ameri multitudinous scandal in which the president nicodemously granted executive approval for a deal that was inflated by a whopping $800 million, to the PDS scandal under which cronies of Mr. Akufo-Addo and his relatives were handed a 22 billion Ghana cedis valued asset like ECG when they had not met either the financial or technical requirements, to the PPA scandal where the man appointed by the president to head the organization ended up awarding 14 contracts to himself and sold some to third parties, to the NYA scandal where a 4.5 million Ghana cedis contract was unlawfully awarded to an entity without recourse to procurement laws, it has been established beyond all reasonable doubt that corruption is the way of life for the president and his government.
But at a counter news conference, General Secretary of the NPP, John Boadu, said the establishment of the Office of a Special Prosecutor, the passage of a new mining law, the vigilantism law, among others, are proof President Akufo-Addo is committed to fighting the menace.
In a historic first in Ghana, the president directs our attention to the passage of 2 pieces of legislation with stiff sentences in 2 areas of our national discipline: political vigilantism and illegal small-scale mining. He has fulfilled a major campaign promise to take the incumbents' political influence out of corruption by swiftly establishing office of the Special Prosecutor.
The party says the NDC has no moral authority to speak about corruption since they supervised some of the most corrupt administrations in history. General Secretary John Boadu says talks by the opposition will not affect government's resolve to give all cited in corruption scandals a fair hearing. The party is also challenging the opposition NDC to state its policy to deal with illegal mining following the new mining law, which now prescribes a minimum of 15 years and a maximum of 25 years for offenders.
We challenge them to come out with their policy position about the future of Galamsey, following the passage of the legislation by the NPP government. Under the bold and courageous leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Ghana will achieve a clean mining regime capable of sustaining the environment and incomes for the future.
On the opposition's view about the PDS deal and the management of the ECG assets, here is what the party has to say.
Having restored regular power, the terms of the compact were reviewed to reduce the period of concession from 25 years and increase Ghanaian participation to 51%. This is simple. So we should have Ghanaians taking 51% of the stake in it. And he skillfully negotiated and got it for Ghana.
They dismissed allegations the president is running a family and friends government.
As I sit here, I don't have large families. And my family members are not part of my political activity. So if I become president, it is only one brother of mine who is technically competent, who can even be part of any administration. I wouldn't. But if you have individuals who have large families, who are competent, who have been part of their struggle over the years, and has been part of the political structure, there's no way anybody can accuse any government of bringing those competent, superior, technically able men and women to be part of his administration.
Responding to claims by the NDC that media freedoms are being stifled under the NPP, John Boadu claimed the most repressive periods the media have witnessed have been under the NDC.
I was amazed when the General Secretary of the NDC tried to lure you, the media, to let you believe that they are the friends of the media. We've been in this country. They even went ahead and ship-bombed most media houses that were against them. They criminalized your speech. They did a lot. Some of you went to jail.
Now let's do some fact-checking. Now it focuses on claims made by the General Secretary of the Opposition NDC at the party's news conference Tuesday. Raymond Akwa has more on the claims and the verdicts in this report.
Let's start with a claim that per the FTI report, delays on the part of government gave PDS a convenient excuse to apply for the all-important precondition of payment security to be sidestepped and restructured.
Government delayed certain actions, and because of the delay, the PDS used the delay as an excuse to now apply for certain conditions to be changed.
This is mostly true. Indeed, it is true that page 20 of the report cites 3 main reasons why PDS could not secure the demand guarantees or letters of credit as per the requirements of the LAA and the BSA from a bank. The first is to do with the delay in agreeing on the list of power purchasing agreements made, which is largely government's responsibility. Again, the PRC's delay in approving the rate-setting guidelines and the initial rates that PDS was authorized to charge. One can argue that PRC is part of the governance structure. The third reason is largely within the remit of PDS itself, that not having a certain level of capital required for the issuance of a cash-backed payment security. He also claimed President Akufo-Addo is the most corrupt in the history of Ghana. This is false. This is contradicted by the credible Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index. Indeed, Ghana's lowest score was 33 points in 1999. Ghana averaged 38.86 points from 1998 until 2018, reaching an all-time high of 48 points in 2014. Under President Akufo-Addo, Ghana scored 41 out of the 100 on the 2018 Corruption Perception Index. Corruption Index had a slight improvement from that of 2017, which was 40. But of course, none of these comes close to the 1999 score.
The Ghana Immigration Service has dispatched some 22 Ghanaians who were deported from Saudi Arabia to their home regions. The deportees are accused of entering the Gulf state illegally between 2015 and 2017. Speaking to Joy News, Public Affairs Officer of the Ghana Immigration Service, Assistant Superintendent of Immigration, Barbara Sam, advised the youth to abandon the idea of traveling to the Gulf.
Some, during the interview, were shedding tears and then were sharing as well.
According to the Ghana Immigration Service, 21 of the deportees are primary, junior high and senior high school leavers. It's
about time now that the ladies themselves are realizing that going there is not helping them. I'm thinking that parents should also help their girl child. They shouldn't allow themselves for any connection man or agent to come and tell them that I can help your child travel. Most of them, they go and sell them. Like, for instance, one lady said when she got there, her passport was seized by her host because her host told her she's already paid for it.
The assistant superintendent says concerns of inhumane treatment from some of the hosts is reason for the ban on girls traveling to the Gulf states.
Somewhere last year, there was a ban on ladies going to the Gulf state. We are strictly enforcing it. If you are going to the Gulf state just to work as domestic help, we don't allow you go. They were made to work over 24 hours. Some were assaulted, others were sexually abused, some were accused for crimes they didn't commit, and then they were fed once a day with bread.
She advised girls planning to travel to the Gulf states to abandon the idea.
Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Kweku Asomachrem says government has no plans of burning confiscated rosewood it says was harvested illegally and that it will find use for it. The new position comes days after the Chief Executive of the Forestry Commission, Kwadwo Sufriye, came in for criticism for saying the rosewood stock would be burnt.
The rosewoods that are still being illegally felled, what happens to those rosewood that you see?
You go to our yard here. That is why we're going to take the press there. We go to our yard. There's various vehicles, parked there.
The rosewood.
Yes.
Is it possible to even keep all that here? What is that all that you do with it? You keep it?
And that is why today I went to the board meeting the last time. I informed my board, and so we are going to take very draconian measures.
Which is?
Measures, one of which is either to ban them completely. Like when we is taken, they bring it to the open and ban them. Because the fact of the matter is that if you impose fines on them, if you went to court and obtained a court order to auction them, if you auction it to anybody, then obviously once you auction, you have to perfect the record for the person. And then the person is going to export it. And so, again, the press will come back tomorrow to say, oh, since the ban, even yesterday, people started exporting them again to China. So where do we go from here? So either we ban them completely or that we give it to, say schools that will want to use it for, what do you call it, chairs and tables and so on and so forth. So we are looking at all the options.
Speaking at the Meet the Press series in Accra on Wednesday, the sector minister said government had no such intention.
The ministry is not aware. When I say the ministry, I mean the ministry proper, the Forestry Commission in this circumstance, is not aware of the statement that rosewood seized will be burnt. And indeed, the seized rosewood will not be burnt. We'll use it for a different purpose instead of burning it. My senior Sir John, the CEO of Forestry Commission, I did not hear him. If he said so, then probably it was a mere path, because he did not intend that statement to be effected. There cannot be anything that could be done at any of the commissions where the minister will stand at the right and then the commission will stand at the left. We work in tandem. So it is not that he had said one thing and I've said another thing. And to that effect, we are being inconsistent.
Chief Executive Officer of the Center for Transformational Leadership in Africa, Samuel Ayim, says the newly introduced school curriculum must emphasize good leadership. Speaking at the media launch of Live to Lead, an international leadership event, Mr. Ayim said it's crucial for leadership skills to be developed in school children. There is more in this report by Nicholas Yamwa.
Mr. Ayim said the nation's development depended on the quality of its leaders. That is why the Center for Transformational Leadership, in partnership with Goldfields Ghana, is organizing the Live to Lead conference, which will focus on the training of a youth in leadership. Chief Executive Officer of the Center, Samuel Ayim, said he is hoping that the new school curriculum would touch on leadership skills for the youth.
So, yes, we've made an approach, but we've seen in the reforms there's some snipers on leadership. We haven't seen the full documentation, so we cannot assess the content, whether it is enough or whatever. But I think they moved away from a system where we are exams-based and just accumulation of information to, competencies and skills is in the right direction, which is what are some of the things we teach and we proposed. So we're hoping that by the time this is fully rolled out, that some of these concepts would find their way there, and over time we can build upon it.
In a country battling corruption on all fronts, Ghana will have a better handle of the problem if it has good leaders, he said.
I know that we don't need more laws. Everything you can mention, we have a law on it. What we need is the will to enforce those laws. And that is what leadership is about. The ability to take the bold step to implement the law and hold people accountable. Until we have a national willingness on all fronts, and it doesn't matter whether the person is in my party or is a government person, wrong is wrong, and it must be treated as such.
Partner of this year's event, Goldfields Ghana, says it is going to take time to train people for leadership roles and hopes they achieve self-discipline among the youth after the event.
As we partner with CTL, we know that people and already 100 students will get an opportunity to be at the program. So they are also going to be educated one way or the other on how to become good leaders and for today and tomorrow. What we hope to achieve is that as an organization, Goldfields, you see, when students come for this program, they learn a lot. So we are hoping that as they learn, they become self-disciplined, and also we'll also be able to work with them so that corporations, not just Goldfields, but other corporations will develop and move on.
This year's event will have leadership expert, motivational speaker and author John C. Maxwell, Nana Nsakwa IV, who is a traditional ruler and a media personality, and a host of others. The event is slated for 10th October 2019. Nicholas Eko Yamwa's report for Joy News.
Holistic care has been identified as crucial for the survival of cancer patients. President of Breast Care International in Peace and Love Hospitals observes many patients suffer unduly due to inadequate health-provided knowledge. Dr. Beatrice Yafi Adai was speaking at a training program in Kumasi. There's more in this report.
Cancer treatment and care in Ghana is receiving a boost with the training of 16 nurses and 9 physician assistants. The program, dubbed Foundations in Care Course, covers topics like psychological, neurological and end-of-life care. Managing seizures, confusion, anxiety, depression and communicating bad news are part of the training. Dr. Mrs. Beatrice Yafiade is president of Breast Care International in Peace and Love Hospitals.
A lot of people are dying from cancers, and the care that is given to the cancer patients and survivors almost always is inadequate. And we are not giving adequate care because we are not equipped with the knowledge. We are not equipped with the know-how, the technical know-how, how to even break the news to someone that you've been diagnosed with breast cancer. How to break the news to the relatives, because the relatives also have to know. How to get the spouse to stand by the woman when she's been diagnosed with breast cancer and not run away because of the diagnosis. The fact that breast cancer is not contagious. So if a woman is diagnosed with the disease, it doesn't mean she will pass it on to the husband. So the husband should run away. So these are nitty-gritties about the diagnosis of cancer. And whether it's prostate cancer, whether it's breast cancer, it's cervical cancer, it's liver cancer, whichever cancer it is. The myths and the misconceptions surrounding these diseases are huge in our parts of the world.
The 5-day course is designed with African cultural beliefs and values in mind. It is to ensure trainees are equipped with needed skills to effectively care for patients. Theresa Weissman is Clinical Professor of Applied Health Research in Cancer Care, University of Southampton.
This will be a train-the-trainer program. So not only will we be training nurses, we will also be training nurses to be trainers of other nurses. And in that way, it will be a sustainable project. So it won't go when we leave. Nurses that are already here will carry on that learning, but also nurses coming, the nurses here can teach them. So that's what we hope to do. In these days, we can use Zoom and media resources so that we can even do training from the UK to people here in Ghana.
The Royal Marsden Cancer Charity and Ocean Road Cancer Institute are supporting the program. Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
We'll take a break to bring you more business. Stay tuned in.